it's Cassidy and welcome back to my channel. So today is episode 3 of TBR Breakdown. We are in front of my shelves. I don't know, I never film in front of my shelves and I really should do it more because it's just so beautiful, and I've definitely had some upgrades to my shelves lately. So this is my way of getting my TBR down. All of the books I haven't read are on this side, and this episode I decided to take everything out of my hands and put it on a wheel. I have 81 books on my TBR. There's technically more because I didn't put all of the Throne of Glass books on here because I can't read like the 6th one before reading the other ones. It's gonna be completely by chance and I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I feel like we should just go in and pick the first book right away. We'll do 3 as always, but let's see what the wheel chooses. I have no clue what's gonna... The Mother-in-Law. This is actually a really good pick because I've had this on my TBR since I started getting back into reading in like 2020, 2021. And I've never read it. I got it from a book outlet, I know. Just as my collection grew, I was prioritizing more like new releases and just other stuff over this one. So I've had it on my TBR for far too long and I need to get to it. So this is like the perfect way to force me into it. I'll tell you more about it when I actually start reading it. Her mother-in-law doesn't really like her, but everyone sees her as a pillar of the community. That was 5 years ago. Now the mother-in-law is dead. A suicide note found near her body claiming that she no longer wanted to live because of the cancer wreaking havoc inside of her. But the autopsy finds no cancer. I'm actually really excited that this came up. I don't know, this was not on my radar, and that's exactly what this series is for. I wouldn't have picked this up probably anytime soon, but now that I have it as I have to read it, I'm excited. And then, just to do something a little bit different, we are also going to do I have a wheel for my series that I'm in the middle of. And so we're gonna pick one of these. I'm praying it'll be one that I actually own. I don't know, we'll have to, I might veto what comes up because there's some that I want to own and there's no point in me just buying it right now to read it, if that makes sense. I think either if I already own it, Windy City. I own Windy City and I want to keep reading it, so that's actually perfect. I was planning on reading this soon anyway, so it's in my room. I'm on Caught Up by Liz Tom Forty. This is the 3rd book in the Windy City series, and I'm trying to read one like a month. The reason I wanted to pick one in a series this episode is because I'm so bad at continuing series. I will buy them and then not continue, so this is perfect. I actually have been half decent at reading these ones, so I just want to keep on that train. This one is a single dad baseball romance and nanny romance, I believe. He's starting pitcher for Chicago's MLB team. He's struggling to find a nanny that works with his schedule, that he likes and feels is like good with his son. He just keeps firing them, and we do see him in The Right Move. And then comes in Miller, who is a high-end pastry chef and is also his coach's daughter. And the coach encourages her when she has this time off to go and be the nanny for the pitcher, and they obviously fall in love. Kind of forbidden for so many reasons. She's leaving at the end of the summer. It's his nanny, it's his coach's daughter, all the things. So I'm excited to get to this one, and I can actually talk to you guys about this one because it's a series of standalones, so it doesn't spoil a lot for the series. Then we'll do one more off of my full physical TBR, so hopefully the mother-in-law doesn't come up again because I accidentally didn't remove it. didn't want that. I did not want that. Where are you? The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I think this is the UK edition. I think I got it when I got it at an airport in the UK. This scares me. That's the only reason I haven't picked it up and the only reason I didn't want it to come up. I just feel like it's kind of smart people books. Under the influence of the charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, their lives are changed profoundly and forever. I think this is like a modern classic mystery kind of book. I don't know how modern it is. I kind of think it's a little bit old. 1992, so before I was even born. But still modern. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I will probably try and find the audiobook to read along with this one. I just feel like there's gonna be lots of references that are gonna go over my head, and that's more what I'm scared of. So I feel like if I read along and listen to the audiobook, less likely to happen. I don't know. Dark academia, which I love. And I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. It's intimidating. I have an update for you guys. I read Caught Up by Liz Tomboard. I meant to come and talk to you guys halfway through. I did not because I was enjoying it so much. This one is about Kai, who is a star pitcher for the Chicago's MLB team. And he suddenly is thrust into the world of being a single dad when a girl that he used to have kind of a thing with showed up on his doorstep with a 6-month-old boy who is his son and says, I don't want anything to do with him. Have him. So Kai is dealing with becoming a single dad. He wants to retire, but no one wants him to on the team, obviously. And so when he starts trying to have a nanny, none of them seem to fit and go right. And then in comes Miller, who is a high-end pastry chef who just won this big award, but is kind of struggling in the kitchen ever since. And she decides to take the summer off. It turns out that she is also the daughter of the basically head coach of this MLB team. And she comes to visit him and ends up getting roped into being the nanny for the summer before she goes back to her job in 2 months, goes back into her own life. And they have like a not great first impression of each other. He thinks she's too wild. She's like 7 years younger than him. First impression wasn't great, so he doesn't want her watching his son. She thinks he's too uptight. And of course they end up falling for each other. I loved this book. I love this series in general, so I wasn't surprised that this was gonna be no different. And Kai is my favorite man from the series so far, which the first two have been great, so that's huge. And I liked Miller as well, so it was really good. I gave this one 5 stars, and I want to just continue on in this series because we know who the next couple is based on the end of this book, and it's Kai's brother. So I'm really excited to continue on in this series, and I'm glad I got an excuse to read this one. I think I'll probably end up reading The Mother-in-Law next. I'm putting off The Secret History, but we will get to it. But The Mother-in-Law should be coming up soon. Hopefully I'll get to it. So this was a total win. Chef's kiss, such a good book. Let's go to the next one, which hopefully I'll give you a bit more on my thoughts throughout. Hello, so I am over halfway through The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. I actually listened to 220 pages of it at work today, so I think it said I had just over an hour left on the audiobook. I don't remember if I told you what it was about when I pulled it. So we're following Lucy, who we see her in current timeline and in the past. Currently, she just found out that her mother-in-law, Diana, died. And in the past, we see her from when she meets Diana to throughout their relationship through the years. What I didn't know is we also get the perspective of Diana, the mother-in-law, throughout the years from when they meet. And I assume, right, probably up to when she dies. When she dies, everyone assumes it's suicide because there was a note found. They all believed she had cancer, and that was part of the reason in the suicide note that she committed suicide. And then when they do an autopsy, they don't find any little bit of cancer, and they actually find poison in her system as well as evidence of like suffocation or something. So we're going back and forth between the different timelines and learning a little bit more about their relationship and why it's been so strained throughout the years, because Lucy went into it wanting to have a really good relationship with Diana, but it just never seemed to work. And we're seeing that a lot of it is miscommunication, but also, but not just that. So I'm enjoying this so far. I think my rating will either be a 3 or a 4. It'll depend pretty much who will be the killer, to be honest, and how that shakes out. That will have a big effect on what I rate this. But I'm enjoying it so far. It's good. It's nothing crazy special. I'm not obsessed, but I'm excited to finish it and see where we end up. I'll probably be back tomorrow to tell you my final thoughts on this. Okay, so I finished The Mother-in-Law, and I'm going to give this one 3 stars, maybe 3.5 if Goodreads did have stars, but either way, it was decent. Not my like most favorite thriller, but it was interesting, and I was interested to see what happened. There aren't like a ton of suspects, so I feel like you can kind of figure out the twist, but there were good red herrings in this for sure. So I enjoyed this, and I've never bought another Sally Hepworth book since this one because I was like, well, I should see if I like her as an author before I do. So I'll probably read her books in the future. I don't know if I'll buy more. I feel like I'll probably just listen to the audiobooks, but I did like this one, and I did like the audiobook, and I will be keeping it for now. Maybe this would be one I would get rid of in the future, but right now I want to keep it on my shelves, and it's a good domestic mystery. So love that. Now I just have The Secret History left. Girl, I don't know when I'm gonna read that. I am intimidated by it, so that's also partly why. But hopefully I get to it soon. Hopefully I love it. Hopefully it's not too pretentious. I don't know, too smart for me, you know? So today is finally the day that I start The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I got really lucky and I got the audiobook as a skip the line hold a couple days ago, but I was in the middle of a couple other books, so it's now time to start this, because I didn't know when I was actually going to get to it, because it's been a while since I read the other books in this vlog, but I didn't know. I'm really scared of reading this without the audiobook. I just don't know if I'll actually pay attention. So according to my audiobook calculator, it should take me like 8 hours and some minutes to listen to this, so I should at least halfway finish this today at work. I'm saying halfway because I tend to get distracted. I'll pause the audiobook, all that kind of stuff, so I should be able to get halfway done it today and finish it tomorrow. Hopefully. I'm hoping I enjoy this. I will let you know what I think halfway through later on today. So I am now 50% through The Secret History. I think I'm actually like 51% through. I'm on page 322. This is the UK version, I believe. I bought it in the airport. I think Heathrow Airport. Love this edition. I think it's prettier than the American Canadian one. It feels very correct for the themes of this book, as well as my very moody. I'm wearing all black, you can't see, but I'm wearing black pants as well. And my hair is very dark, so it's very dark like this book. So this one is about a group of young adults who, on the back it says they're under the influence of the charismatic classics professor, but so I thought he would play a bit more of a role in this book, and he's in here, but so far he plays less of a role than I thought, but not completely invisible. But we mainly follow our main character, who really wants to get into this Greek class. So he kind of weasels his way in there and weasels his way into the life of the 5 other individuals in this class. I know this originally came out quite a while ago, 1992. It's like set in the 80s, I think, though, and we're kind of just seeing there's some like kind of occult stuff in this. I don't know actually if it's considered a cult, but maybe some beliefs in gods and rituals and things like that. And of course there is murder in this. We find out about a death very early on, but I like literally questioned myself if, since I'm listening to it, I had to like question myself if the person said what I thought they said. So I was like, wait, what? So I was confused. Not confused, but I just like did not expect that right away, I guess. But I'm enjoying this. I like how it's written. It's coming from the point of view of our main character, retelling basically the story of, I think, how he got where he is now, I assume. He's kind of just trying to fit in with this group, especially at the beginning. He's trying to fit in when most of them are rich and he is not. He's kind of trying to hide that while one of them's trying to out him for that, but the other people just enjoy being around him. I don't know what I expected this to be, but it's not exactly what I expected, so I'm interested to see what happens in the next 300 pages, because it does feel kind of insane that there is another 300 pages to this. But the audiobook is really good. Yeah, I don't have a ton of thoughts. Like, while this would have been like pretty much a normal book length for me, we still have so much to go, and so I'm interested. I'm really thankful and like so happy I got the audiobook for this, because I think that is helping me get through it. I don't know that it would be slow if I would have physically read it, but it definitely would have been slower, because there is a lot of parts of them just living their day-to-day life that's nothing that exciting. It still felt interesting. I don't know. So yeah, I need to go to work, and I'm going to go finish the rest of this book while at work, and I will let you know what my thoughts on it at the end are. But so far, it's good. Okay, I finished The Secret History. I mostly finished it yesterday, but I did have like 50 pages left to just finish just now, and the second half was boring. I'm so sorry to The Secret History lovers out there. That second half was a lot of rambling, a lot of meandering, a lot of boringness. I think also I maybe just came into this book with like wrong expectations and wrong idea of what it's about. I thought there would be a lot more like a mystery or like murder topics and content, but that kind of is a very small, so I didn't really get what I thought I was signing up for the most part. This isn't bad by any means. I did like aspects of it, specifically more the first half. The second half was a lot less interesting, a lot less attention grabbing, I guess. I think I definitely missed some parts because I zone out when listening to the audiobook, but I didn't feel like I needed to backtrack and re-listen to it. The characters weren't likable, but they were like a good unlikable where I wasn't rooting for any of them, but I was kind of rooting for them. I don't know how to word it, like I'm not rooting for them, but I cannot wait to see what they do next. Until all of a sudden it was literally just them drinking and smoking and going to the hospital and fixing each other's stupid mistakes. Yeah, a lot of boringness. There was like a couple pages of maybe exciting content near the very end in the last 50, but yeah, definitely not what I expected, which is not really the book's fault. So yeah, I don't think I would have been able to get through this without the audiobook. So if you're interested in this book, I definitely would recommend the audiobook. It makes it go a lot faster, especially the second half. I think I possibly could have DNF'd this in the second half because it's so boring and literally nothing happens if I didn't have the audiobook to push me through. So I'm giving this 3 stars because there were elements that I enjoyed. Honestly, it probably could be like a 2.5, but whatever. I'm glad I finally read it because I bought this. It's coming up on 3 years ago. I just know it was when I was on my trip to Europe and it was my way back. So it would have been like October. I do really love this cover. I will have to think about if I'm going to keep this one. Sentimentally, I kind of want to keep it because it was part of that trip. And I do love the cover, but I'm not sure that I love it enough that I should keep it. From this episode of TBR Breakdown, we had one major win. This one I enjoyed more so than this one. Neither were like new favorites or anything, but I enjoyed this one. And I didn't hate this one either. I'm not trying to make it sound like it was awful. It's not. I don't really get the like 1-2 star reviews on Goodreads. A lot of them were like, this is so bad. It wasn't bad. It's just like, the reason this book scared me so much is because it seems like such a academic and like intellectual book, and I'm just gonna be honest, that is not the kind of reader I am. I'm not a pretentious reader whatsoever, and so that's what this is. And I think a lot of reviews that didn't like this maybe don't like this type of book either, and that's fine. Anyway, so this is one of my favorite books of the year. I will for sure be keeping this. I am moving in a bit, so I'm having to decide extra if I'm gonna unhaul books and stuff. I think each of these are on the chopping block, but I haven't quite decided yet, so they will be on my shelves for a bit longer. And eventually you will see an unhaul video from me anyway, so you'll get your answer if these are unhauled. I would never reread either of these, but I'm not like a rereader in general, so that's not my only scale or like deciding factor, unhauling or keeping books.